We live in a very competitive and oftentimes very toxic culture. The culture of our time is a culture that is bedeviled by hate and criticism and people turning on one another viciously, whether via social media or even in person. And as naturally we want to bring one another down, we want to pull that one down. But I have also come to realize, friends, that it is important for us to be very careful so that you do not end up condemning what God has blessed. Don't condemn what God has blessed. My name is Mwai, and what a pleasure, what a privilege it is for me to just spend a few minutes of your time. Just take a few minutes of your time as I challenge you on this very, very important thought. Don't condemn what God has blessed. You have to be careful to condemn what God has blessed. See, one of the things and promises that God gave Abraham as he was giving him his promises in Genesis chapter 12, that he would raise a whole nation out of Abraham. But he also told him this, that whoever blesses you, I will bless. And whoever curses you, I will curse. In other words, your friends will become my friends and your enemies will become my enemies. Sometimes maybe in our foolishness, in our ignorance, and sometimes even in our arrogance, it is so easy for us to turn on one another, to turn on an individual. And maybe you turned on that person, began to criticize them, to tear them down, because you met them at a bad season of their life. Because you met them maybe at a time when things were not going right, things were not going well. Maybe they did something. Yes, they were guilty of something that they did. Maybe they offended society. Maybe they even offended you. And then you end up going all out and criticizing them and creating narratives about them and hating on them and trying as much as possible to get as many people to hate them and discredit them. I want to help you. I want to warn you. Be careful, lest you find yourself cursing that which God has blessed. And understand this, God fights for his own. Understand this, that God is a friend to the brokenhearted. Understand this, that God is a friend to those who have been persecuted and those who have been rejected. And I have learned that sometimes it's easy, very easy for me to fall into that trap of hating somebody. Sometimes we even end up criticizing people or hating somebody we have never even met, we don't have a relationship with. And then we wonder why our own lives are so miserable and we are so depressed and we are never happy. There is no joy, there is no peace in our hearts. Sometimes it's because we have touched the apple of the Lord's eye. These are people who God has actually determined to bless. Yes, they may be down. Yes, they may have messed up. But please be careful lest you touch God's friends, lest you touch those God who has called to his own. Here's the good news, friends. Any one of us can be a friend of God. Any one of us can be the beloved of the Lord. But it all begins with you recognizing and seeing God in the other person and seeing the hand of God in another human being and being kind to somebody else. Let me conclude by saying this. Be kind to people. Be gracious. Extend grace and mercy to people, even if they have messed up, even if they are at their low. Extend grace and mercy to them. Why? Because they're the blessed of the Lord. Why? Because in due course and in due time, God will lift them up. You want to be on the right side of history. When history is written, you want to be on the right side of history of that individual so that they will never turn back and say that in my lowest moments, you condemned me. In my day of trouble, you threw a stone at me. In my day of rejection, you walked away from me. Be on the right side of history where people are concerned. Be the one who defends those who are defenseless. Surround those who everybody is throwing a rock at. And I tell you this, I have come to learn and know of a God who will bless you because you defended the vulnerable. But don't ever find yourself cursing that which God has blessed. If this has blessed you, please go ahead, share this word, this encouragement with somebody, share it, and may the Lord bless you until next time, and may the Lord keep you.